Right, we're going to talk about solving equations that have roots in them or radicals and equations that have exponents. So first, let's start with the roots. Okay, we got a few steps here to look at. The first step for solving is please get the radical or root all by itself. So add and subtract stuff over, divide by anything in front. Step number 2, to get rid of a radical, you're going to raise each side of the equation to that power. So if I have a cube root, I'm going to raise both sides to the power of 3. And then solve and check your answers. So looking at example number 1, I want to get the square root by itself. So the first thing I'm going to do is add 1 over. So I got 2 square root of x plus 5 equals 4. You're not allowed to distribute anything underneath of a root. So you can't try to distribute that 2. So you want to do the opposite of multiplying, which is to divide. So then you get the square root of 5x plus 5 equals 2. Remember, if I say square root, that means the index number is a 2. So then I say, oh, well, I must raise both sides to the same as my index number, which is power of 2. Okay, my power of 2 and my index number cancel each other out. So I just get x plus 5 equals 4. And then subtract my 5 over. And if I subtract my 5 over, I get x equals -1. Now, we do have to check this because it does say check your answers. So if I plug in -1, I would have 2 square root of -1 plus 5 minus 1. Does that really equal 3? Well, -1 plus 5 is 4. The square root of 4 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 minus 1 is 3, so 3 does equal 3. So heck yeah, it checks out. So count that as an answer. Okay, next one. Cube root is already by itself, yay. So let's just get rid of a cube root by putting power of 3 on each side. So then you get x minus 1 equals 2. Raised to the third power is 8. Add the 1 over, so x equals 9. Let's check. Cube root of 9 minus 1. Does it really equal 2? Well, 9 minus 1 is 8, and the cube root of 8 is 2, so yes, it does check out. C, when you look at this problem, you're going to notice, oh, well, there's a fourth root on both sides. So then to get rid of a fourth root, we're going to do a fourth power on both sides. The fourth power and the fourth root just cancel out, so I get 6x minus 4 equals 2x plus 10. Okay, then I'm going to move some things around. So I'm going to subtract 2x, and I'm going to add the 4. So that will give me 4x equals 14. And if I divide, I get 14 over 4, which 14 over 4 reduces to 7 over 2. And then you have to check that to see if it works out. So for checking, I got the fourth root of 6 times 7 over 2 minus 4. Does that really equal the fourth root of 2 times 7 over 2 plus 10? Okay, 6 times 7 over 2. Well, 6 times 7 is 42. 42 divided by 2 is 21. And 21 minus 4 will give me the fourth root of 17. Oh, sorry, I didn't need that equal sign right there. On the other side, 2 times 7 is 14. Half of 14 is 4. Or sorry, 7. And 7 plus 10 is 17. So fourth root of 17 equals fourth root of 17. So heck yeah, mine checks out. 7/2 is the answer. Okay, the next two problems, they are the same type. Where you're going to notice, oh, I only have a square root on one side. So to get rid of a square root, I'm going to start by squaring both sides. Okay, on the left side, x minus 8 quantity squared. Well, that means I have two identical parentheses. So remember, little power of 2 there means two of the same thing. On the right side, the square root and the power of 2 cancel each other out. So I get x minus 6. X minus 8 times x minus 8. Please make a box for that. So off here to the side. X minus 8, x minus 8. So x squared minus 8x minus 8x plus 64. So x squared minus 16x plus 64 equals x minus 6. Now, because you have a squared, you have to move everything over to the same side so that we can factor it. So I'm going to move all these terms over, and I come up with x squared minus 17x plus 70. So what multiplies for 70 that adds for negative 17? Well, that would be negative 10 and negative 7. So when you're solving, switch the sign. X equals 10, x equals 7. Okay, let's check it out. Okay, so I'm going to check with 10 first. So I'm going to go over here to the side. 10 minus 8 is 2. And on the other side, square root of 10 minus 6 is square root of 4. And square root of 4 is 2. So 10 checks out. Yay. Okay, let's check 7. 7 minus 8 is negative 1. Square root of 7 minus 6 is 1, and the square root of 1 is 1. Oh, but hey, here we got a problem. Negative 1 does not equal positive 1. Oh, sorry, I flipped the screen. Let me see if I can get it to flip back. Oh, no. It's flipping around. Please, let me try again. Give me a second. See if I can flip it and keep it there. There we go. Negative 1 does not equal positive 1, so this one fails. So cross it off. Do not circle it. The only answer is 10. So let's try this again. Okay, to get rid of a square root, we're going to square both sides. So you get 3x minus 2. This side, you got to make a box because remember, it's going to be two of the same thing. So x minus 4, x minus 4. So x squared minus 4x minus 4x plus 16. So you have equals x squared minus 8x plus 16. Move everything to where the squared is so we can factor it. So I'm going to subtract 3x. And then I'm going to add 2. So we're looking at x squared minus 11x plus 18. All right, let's factor this. Multiplies for 18, that adds for negative 11. And that would be x minus 9, x minus 2. Solve and you get 9. Solve and you get 2. All right, you need to go through and check them. And when you check them, only one of them works out. If you have any issues with checking, just let me know. But the 2 should fail, and the 9 should be the one that checks out. So 9 is it. So now let's move on to the ones that have exponents, whether they're a whole number or a fraction. So we're going to start with the whole number ones. To get x to the 5th by itself, I'm going to start by dividing by 4. So x to the 5th equals 32. Okay, to get rid of a power, you have to use that same root. So if I have a fifth power, I must use a fifth root. That way they'll cancel out and I'll get just x. Now remember, if it's an even root, you have to have a plus or minus. But hey, we're in luck because fifth root 5 is odd, so no plus or minus. And then for your calculator, remember on your calculator, you want to type in 5 and then hit your X root button and then 32. And you should come up with 2. If you can't get your calculator to work out, then make sure you let me know and we can talk about that the next time I see you. Okay, so here, let's start by getting the parentheses by itself. So I'm going to get rid of the 6 by subtracting it. So x minus 3 raised to the 4th power equals 21. To get rid of a 4th power, you must use a 4th root. On this side, they cancel out, so I get x minus 3 equals 4th root. That's an even root. If it's an even root, you must put plus or minus. And then type the 4th root of 21 into your calculator, and you're going to get a decimal. And that decimal, I'm going to round it to the hundredths, which is 2.14. Okay, move your 3 over. So x equals 3 plus or minus 2.14. Okay, now I'm going to split my plus or minus. So I have 3 plus 2.14, which is 5.14. And then I will take 3 minus 2.14, which gives me 0.86 for my other answer. C. If you have a fraction power, which I know it might not look this way, but that 4/3 is really a fraction power. Okay, you want to get x to the 4/3 by itself. So I'm going to start by adding 6 to get it out of the way. Then I'm going to get rid of my coefficient of 3 by dividing it. Now, to get rid of a fraction power, you must use the reciprocal power. So the reciprocal of 4/3 is 3/4. So make sure you put that power on both sides. Okay, power, very important. Power of 3/4. So over here, they cancel out. You get just x. On the other side, please type in 2. Hit your exponent key, and then do 3 ABC for fraction 4. And you should get 1.68. Now, how do I know with the fraction exponents if I'm supposed to put a plus or minus? Well, for that one, you got to look here at the denominator, so the number on the bottom of the fraction. And I don't mean the original fraction power, I mean the reciprocal power. So if I do the reciprocal power, does everybody notice here? I got 4 on the bottom. 4 is an even number, so that's an even number. I better slap me a plus or minus in front of that. Done. Okay. Let's get rid of the 11. So subtract that over. So x squared plus 9x plus 45 raised to the 1/3 equals 3. Then to get rid of the fraction power, do reciprocal power. So that would be 3/1. Make sure you're writing it as a power. So you get x squared plus 9x plus 45 equals 3 to the 3rd power is 27. Now, do I have to have a plus or minus? Well, look at that bottom number. That bottom number of my reciprocal power is 1. 1 is odd, so no, do not put a plus or minus. Now, move everything to the same side so I can factor it. So move that 27 over by subtracting it. and I get 18. Now factor it. What multiplies for 18 that adds for 9? And that would be 6 and 3. Solve, so you get x equals -6 and x equals -3. Done.